Are we recording? Hey guys, it's 224 Square here with week 32 of the weekly writing challenge. So last week I asked you guys to write a story where the first and the last sentence were the same, and you guys nailed it. You guys blew me out of the water. This has easily been my favorite prompt to read submissions from. I was going through them and I thought, okay, well, I know how it starts, I probably know how it ends, and I tried to estimate sort of what the trajectory of the story was going to be, and I was wrong every single time, and I think that's a true testament to you guys as storytellers. You guys did an incredible job, and I just wanted to highlight a handful of my favorites. So the first is Slippery Serendipity by Musings5225. And what Katie's done here that's so much fun is she's taken this situation, it's just this fender bender that's happened, and she kind of talks about how the story of love happens between these two, and it's told from the perspective of both the young man and the young woman. And they're both bookended by this great sentence, love's a crazy story. It's an interesting premise, and I had a lot of fun reading it. Thanks, Katie. And my next piece that I'd like to highlight is called Syntax by Kerr. And this is a great piece because it's short, it's punchy, it's super self-reflective. I think all of us as artists kind of go through these ideas of like, can I do this? Should I do this? Am I good enough to do this? Kerr's piece begins and ends with the sentence, I should probably stick to music. And while I know that you're an incredible musician, Kerr, I kind of disagree because this is a great story and I had a great time reading it. My next piece that I'd like to highlight is called My Neverland by Odes to Oats. This is a very familiar villain from a very popular children's story who's on a boat. He hears the sound of a ticking clock. It kind of gives him a little bit of anxiety, and he thinks about getting vengeance. It's a really nice story because he's given an otherwise kind of one-dimensional villain a lot of depth and a lot of interesting qualities, characteristics. The piece starts with, there's that sound again, and it was just a lot of fun to read, so thanks Odes to Oats. That was a joy. And the next piece that I'd like to highlight is A Provincial Herald by Sarah Scott. And this piece, I had to read it like 2 or 3 times. What I loved so much about it was there was this masterful use of vocabulary. It was rich, it was dense. There was something almost prayer-like about it. It felt epic, and it's bookended by this beautiful sentence, I spoke once with the earth. It's so wonderful. You guys have to read it. It's such a great submission. Thanks so much for submitting to this week. You guys have been great. And now on to week 32's challenge. And this I think is gonna be a doozy. I was going through some records and I found this piece. It's called We Were Warriors, Weren't We? By Smarmy. And she's written a tautogram, which essentially is a story where every single word begins with the same letter. We were warriors. We woke wondering where we were. We wandered, waited with wounds, waited with weapons, waited with worries. We waited without watches. We watched without windows. We wished, wanting wives, wanting winds, wanting words. When we wrote, we winnowed, we withheld, we whispered. When we wept, we wondered. We were warriors, weren't we? It's so cool. It's just so, there's something very satisfying about saying a tautogram out loud that I think is going to be a lot of fun. So I challenge you guys to write a tautogram for this week's weekly writing challenge. And so I want you guys to have your contributions in by next Monday, May 25th. And there is actually already an existing tautogram collaboration. So when you guys write your submissions, make sure to also submit it to the existing collaboration. And that's it. Good luck, guys. I'm going to try and do this one too. This one's kind of going to be a doozy, I think, for me, but I'm sure you guys are gonna nail it. Have a lot of fun. I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye!